May the words of my mouth and the meditation of mine heart be acceptable in Yahweh's sight. He is our strength and our Redeemer, and it is in His name, which is His authority, that we pray, praise, proclaim, project, protect, and protect today's message. Aman. We give all praise and honor to the Most High, Yahweh Elohim. We give all praise and honor to Him for my wife, the Honorable Maya, who lives a life that's able to be honored. You can check her out on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish. Not A-N-D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. And we thank everybody for being on. Appreciate you. Thank you for spending some time with us. If it's your first time, one time of many, we appreciate you. As always, I'm Pastor Kofi, Pastor Servant to Christ, where we are always changing lives one mind at a time, but being the voice of the voiceless and speaking the unspoken. And we appreciate you, whether you're on with us on YouTube, TikTok, if you're watching this later on, if you're watching this live, we appreciate you so very much. And thanks for spending some time with us. Tonight, I'm going to jump right in to something. We want to ask a question about respect. Here's the question. Do you respect me, and do you respect what I bring? We're talking about RESPECT, finding out what it means to thee. Do you respect me, and do you respect what I bring? Right? Because a lot of people say, I need you. I need you in my life. I want you in my life. I can't make it without you. How are we going to do this without you? You're this, you're that, right? But it's not really that's the problem, because you might need me to do a lot. Because if I might, and sometimes you got to pat yourself on the back, right? You got to say things to you, so you got to realize and recognize who you are. How you doing, ZZZK, Lonely Bull, Drea, Doc, user 8906, Bethany, Johnny. How's everybody doing? Sister Monica, Sister Deborah, is it Melinda Lou? I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Everybody who's on, Sister Nadine, Sister Kelly, everybody. How you doing? Sister Nadine. How's everybody doing? And so once again, today we're talking about what? Like, do you respect me, and do you respect what I bring? How you doing, Dr. Doc? Do you respect me? Do you respect what I bring? A lot of people want what you have, but they don't respect what you have. Or they want what you bring, but they don't respect the bringer. This is when we have a problem, right? How do I deal with people that don't respect what I bring? Problem. By the way, why do I deal with people who don't respect what I bring? And Shabbat Shalom, everybody, if you're going off of our calendar tonight, Shabbat Shalom to you as far as the Israelite calendar. I know that Saturday in the land of our captivity is Shabbat, but if you're able to keep a little bit of Shabbat Shalom to you. But once again, do you respect what I bring? Right? Do you respect me? Do you respect what I bring? And we have a lot of conversations with people, and we get into these long relationships. We have these long lasting relationships and things of that nature with people who don't respect you or what you bring. How you doing, big brother Thomas? How you doing, brother Jermaine? Right? And how you doing, brother Charles? I want I want to be in relationships, but I don't want to look at if I'm respected and if what I bring is respected. And this oftentimes comes from the fact, once again, culturally. How you doing, Sister Ellen? How you doing, Brother Vincent? This comes from a cultural conversation, as usual, because we have to have honest dialogue. If I'm hanging around and running around people who don't respect me, and they don't respect what I bring, it's normally because they don't respect where I or who I come from. And by the way, if I disrespect who I come from because I don't live in a culture that's synonymous with who I come from, then why would they respect me? How you doing, Sister Urena? If I don't bring that to the table, if I don't show love on a regular basis, or if I say that I live by love, but I never show love, if I say that I'm forgiving, or I'm forgiven by the Most High, but I never forgive, if I say that I am chaste and pure, but I am running around just like everybody else is, then why would somebody respect me or even respect what I bring? If I say I'm going to do something for my community, but I never do anything for my community, why should they respect it? If I say I want to be a husband, but people know that I'm not great towards my wife, why would they respect it? How you doing, 25 Florida? How you doing, Sister Latoya? Right? How you doing, Sister Mavis? All right. I've got if how are they going to respect me and what I bring? Right. Matter of fact, let's just be honest with it. What do you bring? With regularity, with all sincerity. You said cultural appropriation isn't cool. It most definitely is not. How you doing, Minister Morel? Right? Like these are things we gotta ask. Do you respect me and do you respect what I bring? Now we've said this before. It doesn't matter where you're from, it matters who you are from, right? You've been tricked as far as 14th Amendment citizenship. So you think it matters where you're from, but where you're from is never as important as who you are from. How you doing, Big Dino? Thanks for being part of the community Hebrew enrichment firm, right? Who you are from is more important than where you are from. So when you say respect me, I got to know, do you even know who you are from? Who is Jameson? Who is Jackson? Who is Stevenson? Who is Madison? Who is that? Does that have anything to do with you, with your culture, with your people? We talk about racism and things like that from time to time, right? If you're going to talk about racism, right, a system based off of competition, but something that's become a lot deeper as far as social construct that's been put with it, why would somebody respect you if you still identify with being enslaved? How you doing, Real Mark? Oh, thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you for that. Like think about that now. You want somebody to look you eye to eye, but when you show up, everything is about impressing them through their lens and their prism and their culture, and doing your best to seamlessly transition into something that they don't want you to transition to anyways. But you're expecting respect. You get in a relationship with somebody who is a misogynist and you expect them to respect you. You get in a relationship with somebody who's into misandry, but you expect them to respect you. You get into a relationship with somebody and you're trying to be married, you think that marriage is walking down the aisle or signing a certificate, but marriage is sex is marriage. And you have multiple marriages on the books and continue to have them and want to lay down with this person, but then they're saying, when are we going to get married? Why would the person respect marriage when you've already given them a false version of it? Do you respect me? Do you respect what I bring? The question is, who are you? Who do you come from? And then once you know that, do you bring who you come from? Be careful when somebody says, I need you. I need you in my life. I need you. I want you. I desire you. I cannot live without you. I love you so much. You still haven't told me anything about what you bring or what your mission is. And you haven't said anything about why you need me or what you need me for. Girl, you know I love you. Look at them lips. Look at them hips, girl. I can't live without that. I can't live without the sweet caress that happens when you stroke my chin, or your sweet embrace when I inside your chest and you love me and you hug me in your manly way. But what does that have to do with, right? What does it have to do with mission? Yeah, we should run away. Or we should at least be bold enough to say, hold up, before we start getting into all that, what is the mission? What is the vision? Right? You can have somebody to break it down into poetry. Yeah, what you working with, right? You can have somebody that can be poetic. They can be poetic, they can be sympathetic, to be able to make sure that in the rhyme scheme, they're able to give you the time scheme to let you know that they will always be around by the very words that they speak, to make sure that they make your knees weak, to ensure that you will be able to, whether it's freestyle or even be able to walk a mile with them in their shoes, you'll be able to always make sure that you know the do and the do's and the don'ts and the wills and the won'ts. And they can sound very articulate with what they say, but question, after all that you've spoken, do you respect me and do you respect what I bring? After all that, I appreciate the words. My main love language is words of affirmation. I appreciate you speaking what you speak, but I had to start learning and diving into another love language, acts of service. I need to see what you're working with. I need to see what you're going to do. My wife is the greatest woman on the planet as far as I'm concerned, because she multiplies. And because she multiplies, I secure her. I give her affection. I make sure she's secure because she respects what I do and she multiplies it, but she doesn't multiply me, she multiplies mission. She took a seaman She took semen and took one sperm rather out of all the semen, and it multiplied into a melanin-filled life, my fruit that would allow me to have grandchildren, right? And she puts in work behind the scenes, even when people might not like all the stuff or whatever, or even might not like the way that she says something from time to time. And yes, she's human, so from time to time she might make a mistake here or there, but y'all know that she grinds, she puts in works, and she does all this stuff. And a lot of you guys who have talked to her out behind the scenes and had conversations, whether it be business oriented or not, and you've discovered that, yeah, she's putting in work. Why? Because she's a multiplier. She puts in work, she puts in effort, she puts in energy. That's why I respect. How you doing, Brother Anthony? You're in North Carolina, Brother Anthony, right? You're in North Carolina. I need to make sure that they reach out to you for something that we try to put together, right? Yeah, with love included, right? She multiplies. You are? Okay. I need to make sure that they get your information. Thank you. All right. I thought I gave it to them, but I don't think I did. I want to make sure that they know that you know what's going on in your area. So this is the stuff that we've got to remember. This is the stuff we have to be about. This is stuff we have to live in. Like, do you respect me and do you respect what I bring? Question is, once again, who are you? You said you respect from the day you met, because bringing explaining about culture we didn't really have or really understand. Thank you. I appreciate that. Amen. How you doing, Divine Queen Mother? Right? Like the respect. Do you respect me and do you respect what I bring? Right? Stop telling everybody all the stuff that you bring. Who are you? I've long since stopped worrying about your bishopry. I respect you, but your bishopry and your apostleship and your pastoral um, um, relevance, right? And your um, being a minister or this and that. I respect all those ministers on staff, but hear what I'm saying. I want to know who you are. I said this before, peel off your church face. Even those of us who are done with the church still be wearing that church face. And it's very annoying. We can't get much done because you always got a mask on. You've always got some title or something to be able to protect what you are. Yeah, understand culture and standards. Yeah, like you've always got, I say this like an exercise that people can use to see like you don't even really be rolling with who you are. I tell people, can you introduce yourself without saying your name, without saying what you do for a living, without saying if you're married or how many children you have? Now, I know being married is part of who we are, but I'm just saying, do you have anything to bring besides just like you hit what everybody thinks in society you're supposed to hit? Do you know your mission? Do you know your calling? Like, it would be terrible of me to like do all this talking and teaching and go to all this place and travel these places and talk to these people and do all this stuff, and we leave you without like a sense of belonging, a sense of calling, a sense of culture, a sense of warmth, a sense of um, self belief. Yeah, and we don't even do that. We don't even try to do that. We've got so many sermons to try to make sure you fill up offering plates, but we don't have words of affirmation. We have so many people that tithe, but we don't teach you how to live off of 10% of what you make. Nobody told you it's possible. You think it's impossible. But what if it's possible to live off of 10% of what you make? Right? We're so busy talking about, like, nobody's taught you. We're so busy talking bad about cryptocurrency because it went down. But there are banks now that are being taken over by the FDIC. Right? I remember. I watched. I don't get to watch all the videos though, but I watch. How you doing, Shisa of Israel? And we have been talking about that already, telling y'all, be ready. Amen, Sister Monica. We were telling everybody, be ready. 2023, they already had this thing mapped out. They told y'all. But you were more concerned about talking bad about all this other stuff. And now you don't have anything, whether it's Bitcoin or altcoin. Some people never got into it, so you don't have decentralized funds. And if you don't have land and have no decentralized funds, if you don't grow your own food, We've been trying to tell everybody, get ready, especially if you're in certain places, like on the East Coast. If you live up and down the East Coast, there should be no excuse for you to not make sure that even if you growing food on a windowsill, that you can start being ready to trade food. We told people, like, you might want to get some chickens if you can. Get 3 of them. That'll give you a dozen eggs a week. Should give you a baker's dozen. Right? Because we were saying, like, don't try to fit in. Don't try, because there's coming a time to where, like, this thing is being designed where that mark is coming. Everybody talk about the mark of the beast. Not as it coming, it's here. Certain stores they don't want you to go inside of unless they make sure they have all your information. This stuff is being played out in front of you. And we are asking once again, who are you? Like, do you respect me? Do you respect what I bring? What do you bring to the table? Who are you? Is everything in your life controlled? Is everything in your life based off of what somebody tells you on the news? Because all the news programs, they sound the same anyways. Do your research. Look up on YouTube. News channels all sound the same. Just type that in. News channels all sound the same. Right? Matter of fact, let me just type that in. You won't even be able to see the screen, but let me just type it in. News channels all sound the same. Actually, I'm sorry. Let me go on YouTube. I just typed it in to Google. Sorry. Let's just type in news channels all sound the same. Right? And just let's see what it let's just listen to all these different people in different parts of the country that are going to say the same thing. How you doing, Sister Shima? How you doing, Sister Mary? Let's just listen. Even if you can't see it, just listen to how many voices, and then listen to when they put them all next to each other. They even have the same cadence, the same rhythm. Here we go. Let's just listen.
There's a lot of attention around Sinclair Broadcasting and its conservative bent. This is a company that owns stations all across the country. And last month I reported that the company was mandating its local stations to produce these media bashing promos. There's been a lot of angst in local newsrooms about this. Now we're actually seeing the promos. So I want to show you what they look like. This is a compilation courtesy of Deadspin that's gone viral this weekend. Just a little taste of what these promos look like.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
So that's one where somebody's actually just kind of showing that everybody says the same thing. But let's do a little different. Because you can say they controlled, they changed that one, they shaped that one. Okay, let's look at this one.
Is to serve our...
So here we go.
San Antonio's Jessica Headley.
And I'm Ryan Wolf.
Our greatest responsibility is to serve our
Treasure Valley communities, the El Paso, Las Cruces communities,
Eastern Iowa communities,
Mid-Michigan communities.
We are extremely proud of the quality, balanced journalism that CBS 4 News produces.
But
we are concerned about plaguing our country.
The sharing of biased and false news has become all too common on social media. More alarming, some media outlets publish these same fake stories without checking facts first.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish these same simply aren't true without checking facts first.
Unfortunately, some members of the media use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda to control exactly what people think. And this is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
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 This is extremely dangerous to our democracy. This is extremely dangerous.
Okay, that's people of all different colors, all different races, that's male and female, people who are gender fluid or not, right? Saying the same thing. Okay, and so when I say, what do you bring? Right. When I say, what do you bring? Right. Like, obviously it's controlled. Obviously there is control. So you got to start thinking about, what do you bring and what is your community going to look like? If somebody's going to respect you, they think that you're dumb. I don't believe that. But they think you're stupid. They think you're stupid enough to keep falling for it. They think that you think that Philadelphia is not being influenced by anybody else. They think that you think that San Francisco is not being affected by anybody else. They think that you think that Sedona is not being affected by anybody else. They think that you think Chicago is not being affected by anybody else. It's the same programming. It's television. They tell you a vision. And really, technically, television is teleport vision. They have the ability through technology to teleport a vision right into your brain, wherever you might be. So I want you to start praying and asking for guidance on who you are. You said it's because we don't stick together. Most deaf. When you don't stick together, it's easy to pick you apart. So I'm with you, right? My thing is, though, once again, what are you going to do? What do you bring? And what do you bring to your community? I've said this, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I'm okay with gentrification. People get mad at it. If somebody is in charge of an area and they have ownership over it, they should make it look like themselves. That should be their goal. You call it brainwashing. They should teach their children about them. They shouldn't teach your children about your children. That's not their responsibility. Like, we think that it is. No, it's not the school system's responsibility to teach my son about who he is. No, never that. I can't get mad at a teacher for not being as involved in my son's life as I should be. Well, I've got to work. I got to get a job. That's why we got to support each other's businesses, so you don't have to worry about doing that. How you doing, Miss Pierce? And so you've been saying that from the time you met and realized how. Oh, thank you, amen. Right? And I'm not even talking about segregation. I'm talking about separation. Two different things. Before somebody tries to make you think that we're right, I'm talking about like-minded people. There's a lot of people who don't look like you who are ready to make sure that they serve the Most High, and there's a lot of people that look like you that are not ready to serve the Most High. Yes, Israel must be sealed, but we also have to be teachers of other nations. But you got to have one message. You notice on there, they have one message. They sound the same. You hear that? How you doing, Sister Latoya? Oh, I'm going to send you, I'm going to just have to send you a recording. Okay. I'm going to just have to send you a recording. Right. But I'm just saying, like they sound, like, did you hear that? You heard that, right? Like, they sound the same. They sound exactly the same. They have the same message. Don't listen to these people who don't work for the news. Don't listen to people who don't represent Fox News, CBS News, CNN, C-SPAN, et cetera, et cetera. That's they have one united message. You heard that, right? They have the same script. People say, why are you super repetitive? You need to have the same script. How you doing, Sister Rachel? Thanks for being part of the community, humble saint. Like they have the same script. You heard that, right? They said the same word. They didn't deviate. They gentrified it, and they're supposed to. The problem is not that they're gentrifying. The problem is that you are not. That's the problem. The problem is not that they've gentrified. The problem is not that they have a script. The problem is not even as much that they're lying. The problem is you don't know truth. So here they gentrify, give you untruth, and then you're mad because you're being like, well, as a member of the society, you should lie to me. You're not a member of the elite. Do you respect me? Do you respect what I bring? I'm not a member of the elite. So if you're going to deal with somebody like me, you can't think like the elite. And if you're going to deal with them, you can't think like somebody like me. That's real. What is the definition of capitalism? Capitalism is defined as a system in which politics and economics are used to control traded industry. That traded industry is wielded by owners of private corporations for profit and not the state, which is the government. Let me say it again. I'm going to say it 2 more times just so that you might not catch all of it, but I need you to get some of it, right? You said you're elite, but not the way society likes. I get it, right? But in the context in which I'm speaking, right? The 1%, the 1%, the 1% when it comes to capital, right? But I get you, right? And praise you out that you think of yourself as being elite in the way that you're designed. I'm not, right? But hear what I'm saying, right? What is the definition of capitalism? I'm not talking about something that I'm making up. I'm talking about something you can Google right now, get an Oxford dictionary, go to a library, look it up. What is the definition of capitalism? Capitalism is a system in which politics and economics are used to control trade and industry. That trade and industry is wielded by owners of private corporations for profit and not the state, which is the government. One more again. What is capitalism? Capitalism is defined as a system in which politics, polls, opinions of people, politics is politics and economics, what's happening economically, is you control trade and industry. That's what you buy. That's what you work for, right? And it's used by owners of private corporations for profit. Everything they do, when you work for a corporation, you work for a body, a person. Private corporations and not the state. The word state is a government. It's a people. So if you work for the government, you work for a people. But if you are not considered to be the people you work for, then you're not the same. So once again, capitalism is defined as a system in which politics and economics are used to control trade and industry. That trade and industry is wielded by owners of private corporations for profit and not the state. Why do you have a quota that police officers have to meet? I don't care if they tell you it doesn't exist or not. You see too much out there. You know that certain times a year, you're like, man, every time once a month, seems like they trying to arrest everybody out here. Pull over everybody, get this many tickets, get this many arrests. Why is that? Because the corporations, right? Prisons are corporations, private corporations. And prisons have contracts with the state, with the government, that go along the lines of this. Hey, you know that we need our prisons to be 98% full, 97% full. If you don't make sure that we meet our quota, then we will go ahead and do what? You will have to pay us more of a fee than what you already owe us. So they make sure that they lock enough people up to meet the quota. You don't believe it because you think you've been told that that's superficial. You've been told that that's an ideal. You have been told that that's a narrative. You have been told that I'm spinning a web of lies. You've been told that I'm a conspiracy theorist for even saying something like that. But you don't know how it works. They tell you in the definition of capitalism what it is. You think that capitalism is a competition for everybody to be able to make it to the top. You can't have everybody at the top. They put evolution on there, an evolutionary mindset that makes you think it's survival of the fittest. No, the families who have the money will have the money whether they're stupid with it or not. If you have $1 billion, it's really hard to lose $1 billion. Right? Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, even though now they're divorced, they had already decided that they were going to give less than 0.5% of their wealth to their children. And while their children might be upset about it, think about that. Their children will be able to live off for the rest of their lives, and so will their children's children, 0.5% of all their wealth. Thank you, Universal Inquirer, for being on. You said elite equals ancient bloodlines, things like that. Yeah, you don't know what a Senate is. You're very Greco-Roman and don't know it. What did the Greeks mean when they said the Senate? The Senate had to be for families. Why is every president that you know of either related by blood or only one president had to be married in, so technically still related by blood? Why are they all related? You think you voted that in? You think you voted about Obama in because yes, we can? You think that's what happened? How you doing, Minister Tamara? Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, We don't like to admit that, but there's too much. Like where there's smoke, if nothing else, where there's smoke, there's fire. You mean everybody who's a president ever has been related the same way they did in Rome, the same way they did in Greece? Heck, let's be honest, the same way they did in Carthage. That's North Africa. Not all skin folk is kin folk. Stop it. They got you believing stuff that doesn't even make sense. And you keep saying, we're going to try and get one person in there. We can get one person in there that doesn't have any connections. They'll make change. Do some research. A lot of these people who actually aren't part of these families who get in there, they quit really fast because they realize they can't make change and it hurts them. They have headaches. They have heart attacks. It's stressful. It's stressful to be part of a system that you can't change. And everybody's waiting for you to make change, and you can't do it because that's not what the system's designed for. The system is not designed to make sure that the person who doesn't have has. The system is not designed to go after corporations. It's controlled by the corporations. How are you going to ask for somebody to make sure that they won't give you something that should be free? Right? Like they won't give you water for free. Think about that. They won't give you water for free. They tell you to cut down dandelions that could save your life and then give you fake versions of the dandelion that'll hurt you in the long run when you get cancer because you sprayed the dandelion. They won't give you health care for free. The system works. We say it doesn't work for us. True, but the system works. So if it doesn't work for you while it yet works, you have to ask yourself, why am I trying to participate? Do you respect me? Do you respect what I bring? The system doesn't respect what you bring. Right? If you buy a car, you don't have to register it. Registering is just saying that the state gets to say that they own it. You don't have to register a car. Now, make sure that you know law when you do it. Don't just, Kofi told me to take my license plates off. Don't do that. You got to know how law works. But when you register a car, all you're saying is what I already bought and I own. I'm saying that the state now gets to tell me what to do with what I own. You said they made Barack Obama go after African countries. Barack is a better ex-president than president. All of them are. But once again, no, Barack is the same. Every president's responsibility. What's every president's number one responsibility? Same thing that was mine when I joined the United States military, not knowing any better. What's every president's number one responsibility? Is to preserve the Union. They said the same oath that I said. I, so-and-so, will support and defend the Constitution of the United States as a corporation against all enemies, but you missed part of it. All enemies, both foreign and what? And domestic. If you live here and you're not going to be down with the program and you're not going to be owned, we're coming after you too. Right? And it's so weird. Like, don't get into the Republican versus Democrat thing. All of them. They work for the same people. They got voted in by the same people. They got paid by the same people. Your votes didn't matter. They got to serve who put down the best bid. Every president of every company knows that. Every CEO of every company knows that. Yeah, you got to make sure that the people who buy your products and everything are getting stuff, but you got to do what? You got to take care of the shareholders. Whoever has the most shares, they get the most say. Yeah, everybody who has a share gets to speak on something, but let's be honest. The person with one share, rarely do we ever care what they have to say in comparison to the person who has 200,000 shares. Who is it that owns 10 shares in Tesla? Y'all tell me right now. Who y'all know that y'all be listening to speak about Tesla who has 10 shares? You rather listen to them or you rather listen to Elon Musk? This is how it goes. If you pay in taxes, you got to share. You got to share in the debt. That's what that is, because you believe that you're a U.S. citizen and you decide to live as such rather than non-citizen national and still be protected by the same law. Matter of fact, protected more so because you should uphold it better. It don't matter what president you're talking about. You want to work your way backwards? Right? We know that Biden is messing stuff up. I don't even know if I need to talk about it because whether you're Republican, Democrat, y'all don't like him. But we know that before Biden, there was Trump. Trump got voted in and made sure he took care of evangelicals and certain people for certain things that needed to be done outside of some of the other stuff you want to talk about as far as January 6th or whatever. President Obama had his wife dancing in front of y'all on Ellen talking about children need to be healthy. Meanwhile, he was signing documentation to ensure that corporations didn't even have to tell you what was in the food and that they could keep on modifying your food. How you doing, Gus Sissy? Right? Don't, but you want to keep on going? You want to keep on going? I mean, we can go back to Bush that was before him. No child left behind, where a bunch of children were being left behind. Told you there were weapons of mass destruction when there were none. And even the ones that they knew about, which were ones that were like mustard gas and stuff like that, they were letting them do that for years. How you doing, Spike? Me too. You want to go back before that? Right? You want to go to Clinton? Clinton, who was busy sitting there playing the saxophone. Y'all said he was the first black president. Meanwhile, when he was running for president against Perot and against Quayle, he was sitting up there. He went back to Arkansas to kill a man who had mental health issues that was black, to be able to show everybody he was tough on crime, because Republicans didn't necessarily want to vote for him, but they didn't trust Quayle, and Democrats didn't necessarily trust him because they said he was not tough enough on crime. Then his wife, who we were warned about by Coretta Scott King, she told us, hey, anybody who worked for the company his wife used to work for, be careful, because they hate people of color and they are racist. But everybody tried to uphold her as this paragon of virtue. She was out there making sure that she came along to help him call y'all super predators with the help of Joe Biden. And while calling y'all super predators, had a lot of y'all black folk who need to vote Democrat no matter what signing up for it and being excited to see him sign that on an American ship. Y'all forgot? And they took away your right to habeas corpus. They took away your constitutional rights. Trump actually, even though he didn't mean to, but when Trump signed one of his bills, that actually came back, much as y'all hate Trump. You want to keep going back? I mean, we can keep doing this. George Bush, who worked for the CIA, helped to make sure that Osama bin Laden and people like him were able to grow. Went into Iraq and started the whole Iraqi thing way before y'all talked about George W. Bush, his son, doing the same thing. Helped Reagan. Let's go back to Reagan now. Don't forget Reagan. War on drugs, Iran-Contra stuff. Say no to drugs. Meanwhile, his wife, who was known for being able to make sure that she was doing some salacious stuff in the bedroom with other people that weren't even her husband, at the same time was telling y'all say no to drugs. Meanwhile, Ronald Reagan was making sure that he was okay and drugs being put into the streets and the hood, which became the trailer parks, which became Skid Row, which became all these places that y'all now are like, how did all these opioid things happen? It's happened when you were making crackheads out of the United States of America and all the big cities where people of color live, because you knew that they couldn't afford cocaine. So you watered it down and made a new product that they can afford in rocks, rather than making sure that they got a bag. He said, boy, you just came out of a room where people could not explain how Jesus was God. Oh, well, I don't worship Jesus or God, but I get what you're saying. I worship Yahavashai Alacham, but, touche. Right? But yeah, it can be difficult for people to do some of this stuff. But tonight we're talking about what? Do you respect me? Do you respect what I bring? I mean, we can keep going back. Jimmy Carter was still doing stuff over in Vietnam when y'all thought it was over. I mean, do we need to go back past that? Do we need to go back to Nixon? I know I skipped forward, or actually not skipped forward, skipped whatever his face was in between there. But go to Nixon. Nixon was doing war on drugs, and Reagan was calling him while he was killing all Black Panthers. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. The list goes on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, by the way, you're talking about CIA stuff. Like, even with Kennedy's assassination, guess why Kennedy was assassinated? Yahashava'i, or some people would say Yeshua, Yahavashai, Yahushua, Yeshua. Right, but I would say Yad He Shin Vav Ayin, Yahavashai, Yahavashai. Oh yeah, before I went to Jamaica and stuff. By the way, how much was the CIA and all these presidents messing around with places like, I didn't even mention. I mean, the list goes on and on. What I'm saying is, how's somebody gonna respect you and respect what you bring if they don't look at you as being a people? I said this earlier today, and I've said it plenty of times. How you doing, Sister Judith? If you want reparations, you have to be a people. A people is a nation. You can't give a family reparations that doesn't even identify with the people. The people weren't even United States citizens. They were freedmen. How you doing, Sage? Praise y'all. Thanks for being on. How you doing, Miss Betty? You see what I'm saying? You're asking for reparations. You're not even a people. You're not even a country. They give reparations to Japanese. They give reparations to Jews. They give reparations to Chinese. They give reparations to slave owners, families of slave owners. They give reparations to quite a few people. You said Oliver North pled the fifth. Yeah. Oliver North and Oliver North's secretary. She's the real hero in that story for them. Not for me, but for them. How you doing, Cricket Brett? Right. Oh, Bertram and Jessica. Hey, how y'all doing? Oh, you fine, Coco. Thanks for being on, and thanks for thinking enough of us. We'll be on for a little bit of length, at least till we start classes back up for the next semester. But I'm just trying to tell you, when you keep saying, why don't people respect who you or where you or you or where you're from? Oh, I'm sorry, respect you or respect what you bring. I'm going into all other stuff now. Because they're not supposed to, not in this system. You got to respect you. You have to be your standard. You got to be your standard. Period. What do you say about your people? What do you teach your children? Stop being mad at the teacher that doesn't look at you as being what they are. Like, stop it. It's not your concern. Don't worry about it. It's not for you. It's not, like, seriously, it's not for you. Stop looking for Hollywood to tell you what the Dahomey people did. They're supposed to lie about the woman king. Now, they give you some things that are real for you to know, but they're not going to tell you the truth about the woman king. They're not going to tell you the truth. They're not going to tell you the truth about the slave trade correctly. And if they do, right, they're going to tell you just enough, but they're not going to tell you that. I'm not looking for Django to be my barometer of, I can use some things out of it, but it's not going to be my barometer of what's going on. I'm not looking for somebody to you dress in blackface and make a movie called Gandhi. Ben Kingsley is supposed to, like, they lied to y'all. You ever seen the movie? I don't know how many of y'all seen the movie Gandhi. Right? I don't know how many of y'all saw the movie Gandhi. They lied about a lot of stuff. Gandhi was not this man who loved everybody. Right? If y'all seen the one, Ben Kingsley, back in the day, what was it, the 80s it came out? I don't remember. We had the double VHS, so I know it's back in the day. Right? But Gandhi is somebody that was killed because people thought that he was shady. Y'all just think Gandhi was hated. They thought he was shady. Oh yeah, Gandhi called black people the N-word. Gandhi, actually, look at Gandhi's writings in South Africa. Y'all forget, y'all know about him in India. He was an Indian that was living in South Africa. And Indian people were trying to let white people know, don't treat us like the N-words because we're just as much white as you are. Remember Alexander the Great? This was their argument, part of their argument. Alexander the Great's last part of the empire that finally fell was in India. And they had been brought into a lot of Eurocentric thought process, and they started using their sects and started adding another one on there called the Untouchables, or Dalits, they would call it. Yeah. And how you doing, Minister Nice? And how you doing, Sister Betty Russell? There's so many Bettys now. Right? Right. Like in Ghana, they tried to put up over where my people are, over, and some of our tribesmen and tribeswomen, tribesfolk who have gone over to who went to university, they tried to put a statue of Gandhi there. They ripped that thing down over there. They said, we ain't playing that. We know who he is. They tried to put that thing up. That thing got pulled down. Y'all heard about all the statues being pulled down over here. They pulled that thing down with the quickness. How you doing, Shoe Queen? Thank you for the love. You saying Bolt lost $1 million? Right, they pulled that thing down with the quickness because they were like, no, not over here. Oh, no. Right? You said everyone knows about Gandhi, but no one actually watched the film. Well, like I said, I watched the film, and the film wasn't correct. Right in the beginning of it, when you see this big speech and all this stuff about this and that or whatever, Gandhi hate. Matter of fact, go look up the writings of Gandhi when he's in South Africa and see the hate that he said. He said that it should be acceptable to walk in the house of N-words and pull them out and shoot them and beat the women and children to death. That's what he said. In the movie at the end, Gandhi's wife is still alive. You know that's a lie, right? How you doing, P. Cooper? Right? Now, you can say based off a true story, but hear what I'm saying? You know that's a lie. Why is that important that you know that particular thing is a lie? It's a lie because Gandhi and his wife supposedly believed that, according to their belief system, they shouldn't be taking any kind of Western medicine, right? I try not to do it myself. Here's where I got a problem with you, though. So his wife dies. This is what happened. I don't care what they told you in the movie. Research for yourself, right? His wife dies because they wouldn't give him, she shouldn't take Western medicine. Later on, Gandhi has the same sickness. Do you think that Gandhi took the same stance his wife did and died like his wife did? See, if you respect me, then you should respect what I bring. I don't respect when people lie and want me to act like this dude was a great husband, and you give me a movie and tell me he loved everybody and he was fighting for racism for everybody. And the reality is that he hated black people and he hated his wife, right? So his wife dies, he takes the medicine to keep on living. And oh, by the way, after his wife dies, he had all these young girls, even girls from other countries that would come over, right? Sometimes teenage girls, and would have them basically in these little sex things. Now, he says that he never had sex with them. He said that he wanted to test himself. And he would even give himself like enemas, yo. Because he was into that type of stuff. He said it was to keep him clean. See, they don't respect me. They think I'm stupid. They think I'm dumb. They think that I can't study. They think that when I find this out, that if I speak out against it, then I'm somebody, well, why are you talking about the past? If you can bring up 1776 on July 4th every year, then I can talk about Gandhi. Why do you think Pakistan exists? You ever thought about that? Do you know what Pakistan is? Do you know what Pakistan is? You know how it came to be? And if you want more information on classes and things like that, she's sort of fine. Thank you for the question. If you go to our main TikTok page, click on that TikTok page, click on the link tree, then you should be able to just text us or email us and we'll get back in contact with you, okay? You said your eyebrows did like the McDonald's arches. Hey, I'm trying to tell you. Pakistan came into play because they ain't trust India. And so they made a play, and a lot of people that were Muslims, they just went to play. And so they took different pieces they could get, the regions they lived in. Because they ain't trust Gandhi. Ultimately. Now there's some other stuff at play, sure, but ultimately they ain't trust him. But in your mind today, what is Gandhi? Pious, upright, was willing to die. Everybody should look up to him. Really? Really now? Really? That's not truth. Yeah, same people, different countries. They're the same people. Pakistani people don't want to be called Indian, and Indian people don't want to be called Pakistani. You're the same people. The reason you broke up, though, was because of the fallacy, the foolishness. Am I saying that Gandhi to people doesn't represent a certain thing? Sure, but we got to be careful. Right? And by the way, Gandhi did all that. Why do you know about Gandhi, but you don't know about Kwame Nkrumah? What about what he did? Why don't you know about Toussaint Louverture, Dudley Bookman, Jean-Jacques de Sillon. Why don't you know about the brother who's on the statue that's right next to the church that has Hebrew characters in Savannah, who fought for freedom in the United States, right? Couldn't get it because of the color of his skin. So after the war was over, he left, ran from slavery, went to Haiti after he helped America get independence, and then fought so that Haiti would have independence and became like a king over there. Why don't we know their names? Why don't we even know they exist? Yeah, Gandhi is not our standard, for real, for real. And why is it that Gandhi had to be played by Ben Kingsley? Ben Kingsley is European anyways. So I'm saying, do you respect who I am? Do you respect me, and do you respect what I bring? The answer is no. This is not designed to respect you. Right? This is not designed to respect you. This is not designed to respect your intelligence. Intelligence is information. Why is it that if I was going to work for, like, watch this, now that I got a little something, the corporation might call you, boy, and say, hey, you can wear whatever this is that you want to wear. But why is it that you can't work for the corporation like this? You got to put on somebody else's culture. They don't respect you, and they don't respect what you bring. They think you're dumb. They think that you'll remain dumb. And when I say dumb, I mean they think you won't speak. That's what dumb means. You know, if somebody's dumb, it doesn't mean they're stupid. It means that they can't speak. Now, if you can't speak on it, maybe you are, but let's stop being dumb. Let's start speaking on this. Let's start studying so we can speak on it. It brings me back to that old Bugs Life thing. I don't know why I've been in children's movies today so much. Right? Earlier this rising, I was rattling them off. I guess it's because I got babies, right? But what's that movie? A Bug's Life? And what's his name? Hopper, I think, is the main is the antagonist, the main antagonist. He's supposed to be a cricket. You got all these ants that are trying to make sure that they're going to be able to, they're starting to want to be free. And you got this ant and you got this grasshopper that's over the other grasshoppers called Hopper. And Hopper basically is like, oh yeah, we don't need to go back. And or Hopper's brother and some other people, they're like, man, we don't need to go back. We got plenty of food. We don't need anything else from them. Right? And so Hopper, he gives them one. He opens the little container that they got their nuts in or whatever. And he takes one nut and he throws it at somebody and says, hey, did that hurt? He goes, no, it didn't hurt. Right? He opens the next one and he tosses it at him. Did that hurt? No. Then he tosses another guy. Did that one hurt? And he says, no, not at all. And they all laughing. And he says, okay. And then he opens the top of the container and all the nuts fly out. Right? And they get buried underneath them. They get crushed. And he says, yeah, one ant can't do much of anything. I'm not quoting exactly what he said, but one ant can't do anything. But he said, but a whole bunch of them can crush us. He said those ants, and I can't remember what his exact number, but he was like, they outnumber us like 1,000 to 1. He said, and if they ever comprehend that, if they ever get that our way of life is ruined. If they ever comprehend that if you haven't seen the scene, look up A Bug's Life and look up Hopper, look at Hopper in the nut scene or whatever. I don't know what you need to type in, but he tells them straight up. Matter of fact, I don't know. Well, I can't play that. We'll probably get a strike. I can't play that one publicly. Right. Y'all just have to look that one up for yourself. But he tells them straight up, hey, if they ever realize, and it's amazing, Disney told y'all that. Disney is basically lives off of making sure that y'all don't realize that you outnumbered them 1,000 to 1. And really, it's more than that. It's more like millions to 1. For every one person that's really doing big things out here, y'all think y'all doing big things. For every one of them that's living off y'all like that, there's 1 million of y'all. There's like 30 people. Actually, well, let's do it like this. There's like 300 people that run the United States of America. There's 300 million of y'all. There's like 300 that run the country. There's 300 million of y'all. And you'll let them vote for what 300 million y'all do while they don't have no money. Where they don't have no money, they got y'all. They're like money, like the second that you realize that you could forage for your own food, if everybody, watch this, if for one day everybody went outside and foraged for food and didn't go shopping, what do you think would happen to the economy? And a lot of y'all are afraid, well, if the economy goes down, then I'd go down. No, you wouldn't. If you eating and everything goes down, then y'all say, well, if everything goes down, I mean, I don't know what we'd be able to do. What if they try to kick us out? Do you think there's more police officers or more people? They would try to say, I'm trying to incite a riot. I'm not trying to incite a riot. I'm trying to get you to think. You think there's more military or more people? You think there's more presidents or more people? You think there's more judges or more people? You think that, watch this. Do you think there's more? Do you think there's enough, even with there being as many prisons that they have? You think there's more prisons or there's more people? There's too many people for prisons. They keep lying to you and telling you that there's an overpopulation problem. No such thing as an overpopulation problem. Hear what I'm saying? No such thing as an overpopulation problem. No such thing. Somebody says, oh, yeah, there's too many people to populate prisons. There's not enough prisons to populate everybody. But there's no such thing as an overpopulation problem on Earth. No, you're lying. I heard on CNN. There was a scientist talking about it. I could take everybody. Now, granted, this is shoulder to shoulder, but just stay with me. I could go to Florida, and in just 3 counties at the most, possibly 2, depending on the size of the county, I could go to the state of Florida and put everybody, 8 billion people, I could put them in 3 counties shoulder to shoulder. Now, you say that's not comfortable experience at all. Of course, that's overcrowded. That's just 3 counties in Florida. What if I gave all those people that live shoulder to shoulder in 3 counties in Florida? What if I said y'all can live in all of Florida? Now y'all would say, well, yeah, we could all live there, but that's a lot closer than what I want to be to people. Okay, what if I said you could live in Florida all the way up the East Coast to Maine now? That means y'all don't even got to see each other. Y'all know that's how much space is here. Y'all have never crossed the country before. I had the pleasure of finally doing a cross-country trip with my family last year when we were visiting everybody. Like, there's tons of spaces where nobody is. Bunch of animals, bunch of grass, bunch of water, no people. Matter of fact, there's a lot of places where people are living in camps and stuff because they can't afford to live anywhere, but they just live out in nature. Saw the Grand Canyon. Ain't nobody in there. You know? Saw a lot of spots. Right? But what if I not just gave you the East Coast? What if I gave you the entire United States of America? Uh-oh. And I said, let everything else grow and be where it is. If you go out there to get stuff, get food out there, but just, right, you think there's an overpopulation problem. You don't know where you don't know you're living in a lie. Now, take that. What if I gave you all of North America? I said, leave South America, Australia, Europe, Africa, Asia, Antarctica alone. You have all the food that you need. You can forage, you can grow, you can have cattle, you can do all those things, and you can feed yourselves. Now think about it. I told you I could fit everybody inside Florida. On the planet, everybody can live inside Florida. What if I put everybody in Montana? That's pretty big. You say that's too cold? Okay, what if I put everybody in Texas? You said, no, that's too hot. Well, what if I gave you some beach stuff and let you have different varieties of land? What if I put everybody in Cali? There's so much space. It's ridiculous. What is it? Isn't Bill Gates owns like 3,000 acres of land and doesn't grow and says that there's not enough food to be given to y'all? I could put you in a state in the United States of America. I could fit you in a state. Everybody on the planet could fit in a state. Thank you for the love, Sharon. Appreciate it. You said they got great deals on land. Come on down. Amen. Right. I'm just saying. So we had this weird thought process. Because they don't respect you and they don't respect what you bring. They don't think that you will study this stuff. You know, every law that they give, they have to show it to you first. There hasn't been one thing that's ever been put on law books that you can't look up for yourself. There hasn't been one thing that's on the books that they won't even show you in a movie or show your children. They need your children. They need you to come into agreement with this stuff. You have to see it first. The question is, does this thing respect me? And if it doesn't respect me, then maybe I shouldn't respect it. I'm not saying disrespect the person, but hear what I'm saying. I'm not respecting a law. Like I talked about this a little earlier. Everybody talking about Jim Crow. You know, Jim Crow's coming back. It never left. They disrespect you so much that they want you to be upset about something that's not going to change anything. They're going to stop teaching us about us in schools. They already don't teach about you in schools. You were trying to get them to do something that they never did. So now they just made it official on the books. It was already not being taught. Wasn't that your problem in the first place? That they didn't teach it in schools? You got this thing messed up. They're going to take out anything of the books that has to do with slavery. They already have. You said he bought 25% of the farmland in America. Okay, I didn't even know the percentage. Thanks for giving me that. I didn't even know that part of the game. All right. I'm just trying to tell you, like, stop getting in fights about stuff that hasn't even changed. They're not listening to us when we speak on our calls. Have they ever? I'm sorry to laugh. Sometimes you got to laugh to just help you to see that it's not going to take over your life, you know? They're not going to tell the truth about presidents. If you think that Joe Biden is the 46th president, you don't know about truth about presidents anyways. They're not going to give us anything. They shouldn't give you anything. We should have never given it to them in the first place. Now that they have it, get your own, love your own. I'm not saying segregate, but separation is necessary. Oh, now you're racist. You're a reverse racist. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Not a reverse racist. You know how I know I'm not? Because y'all don't mind if people who make billions of dollars segregate from you. Are you allowed in there? Are you allowed in LeBron James' neighborhood? Let's not make it a white person because y'all try to say that I'm trying to just talk about white people. Are you allowed in Kevin Durant's neighborhood? Are you allowed in Patrick Mahomes' neighborhood? Are you allowed in Chris Rock's neighborhood? He's the man of the people. He's the man of the hour. Can you go chill with Chris Rock? Is he gonna invite you over the crib? Is he gonna make sure that you eating? I'm not saying I'm mad at them. I'm just asking the question. So if it's already segregated, I didn't call it segregation. Now I'm not saying we should segregate. I'm saying we should separate. I'm saying we should get with people that are like-minded. I'm saying we should support the businesses of those that support our businesses. I'm not mad if you go to a Spanish town and they spend the dollar and the dollar it circulates in their people 40 times before it even gets outside the community. Same with the Jewish community, same with the Amish. Matter of fact, Amish, it might circulate like 100 or something times because they get everything from each other. They don't need to go to you. They don't need your electricity. Like here's something that y'all don't know. It's not that Amish people don't even use electricity. They just don't get it the same way you do. They harness electricity. They keep rainwater. They have their own water. They're not worried about your water source. They're not worried about if we don't pay taxes on water, what are they going to do to us? They catch rainwater. They have their own land. They eat their own food. They butcher their own cattle. They'll still do business with you. And they'll call you English no matter what color it is to your face. You English, ye English, get away from me, ye. Right? They'll say that right to your face. And it's fine. It's their culture. It's their community. Let them do what they do. But you think it's bad when somebody says you should do that too. Or you start questioning, how are we going to do it? My question is this: how can we not? I don't even know if I gave the right theme for tonight. I'm just going to keep it 100. I don't know if this theme really works or not. But real talk. Instead of saying, how can we do this? How could we ever come together? My question is, how could you not? Have you not seen this system in action long enough? Have we not seen how this works long enough? Can we not see that maybe, just maybe we need to move differently? Yeah, the Amish are wise for doing things their way. And I think Spanish are wise. You go to a town and it seems like it's little Mexico, that's wise. Ain't nothing cuter than seeing a little Mexican girl skipping around the laundromat. Sorry for being very stereotypical, but I've seen plenty of them in my life, skipping around the laundromat in a nice dress and not thinking twice about it because that's just what she's supposed to do. You got little girls, our little girls are worried about their hair. And if somebody gonna say something bad about them, but the little Mexican girl just skips around in the dress like it's her quinceañera. Y'all thinking her quinceañera, she looking great. She looked great when she was 2 years old, skipping around the laundromat. They pull out a song and everybody's playing trumpets and tubas and doing all this stuff, guitars and wearing sombreros, and you laughing. Meanwhile, for them, they ain't laughing. That's who they are. They're okay with that. Laughing is all you want. Yeah, nice dress, soccer shoes, all that, and she's totally cool with it. You got to ask yourself why you don't have that for your children. Why do your babies, when you have see watch this? Do your babies even get dressed in dashikis or tunics or chemise, fringes, tassels, headdress, headwear, headscarves? Like they're just not. So your babies are so in tune with everybody else that when they wear those things, they go, man. I like the fact that my son likes it when he dresses like his daddy, and that his daddy dresses like his people, and when he gets around other people that dress like him. I like it when he hangs out with other little boys, and the little boys, look at each other strange when they hear another little boy cursing. So he realizes, like, oh, you're not supposed to curse too? Oh, cool. Right? Like, because he by himself. Oh, okay. Well, mom and dad said I'm not supposed to curse. Oh, you don't curse too? Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, that's bad they're doing that. That's why y'all curse for real in school. Y'all didn't curse in school because y'all just heard it on time. Y'all would go to school and you would hear other babies cursing, and so you would say the same things that they did, and y'all would laugh because, oh, you curse too? Because it's peer pressure. Give them some peer pressure that's from your culture and your community. Oh, why are you cursing? Have 3-4 little boys looking at the 5th boy that's just coming in and watch it. And the little boy who curses and curses and curses, have those 4 little boys be like, oh no, we can't curse. We don't curse in Israel. We don't curse when we come together. Our parents would be really upset. I've had little children for real. Pastor Kofi, I'm sorry. I hope my mom didn't tell you what I was saying in school, but I'm going to get better. You know why? Because like he looks up to us as community. I'm just meeting little boy for the first time. Met another little boy. Little boy said, I didn't think you were real because I'm on TikTok all the time in his house. So he thinks to himself, oh, okay, or I'm on YouTube or whatever. So he thinks I'm like some kind of celebrity. And he's like, oh, I didn't think you were real, but you're here. And when I get there, he totally readjusts what he's doing. Not because I'm the greatest person to ever live, because, oh, okay, I guess you're real. Like you're in the flesh. Like this is what we're supposed to do. I guess what my parents have been saying, like there's other people out here, and you brought a family, and you brought a child, and you brought elders, and you brought all this stuff. Wow, okay, I guess like we're really supposed to do this. I'm talking to people that are going to school and talking to them, and literally before I can get it out my mouth, yeah, I know, okay, I'm not supposed to have McDonald's, and I'm not supposed to do this, and I'm not supposed to do that. They in college, but they listen. Why? Because they got pressure, they got peer pressure, they got community pressure. Yeah, pressure is something that's necessary. No, you can't pressure somebody that you're not living it right yourself. So yeah, people don't respect you. They don't respect what you bring. Once again, you said MJ just knows a celebrity came to his house. Yeah, that's my little man right there, little Malcolm, out there doing his thing, right? And Solomon talk about him all the time, right? And Solomon started doing some football maneuvers and stuff like that. Don't know if I'll ever let him really, get into it all the way because he don't need to. But, he started getting into it. Why? Because he came by, it was pressure. And the same thing, I was telling him, hey, get them push-ups in, do this, do that. He sees another little boy doing it. Guess what? Now he want to do it. And the thing about MJ that was cool when we did that, when we came by, when we were outside playing, and I would say, okay, go run a post, go straight, give me a hook, give me a curl, give me five, fake like you're going in, and then come inside. The ball gonna be waiting on you as soon as you turn around. When my son saw that, guess what he did? MJ, when he dropped the pass that he knew he should have caught, he started doing push-ups. I never asked him to. He just started doing push-ups because that's his standard, right? The standard he's been taught. So guess what my son started doing? I drop a pass, I got to do push-ups. That's the standard. Because MJ, we know AJ as well, so excuse me. But MJ, he did the push-ups. So that means Solomon now can't come around MJ and not be able to do push-ups. See, it's peer pressure. Peer pressure is positive. MJ brought something to the table. And so now Solomon said, I respect what he brings. I respect him. I need to make sure that when I come next time, I can bring something too. I need to make sure I can run around. So I need to make sure I can catch passes. I need to make sure that I can throw the ball, right? That's the mindset, right? Children get it. But we don't think about it as adults, as children of the Most High. Where's your peer pressure? Yeah, there's times that I'm not going to let something go. So I know sometimes y'all listen to me and I'll be like, please let that go. Why are you still talking about that? Like, why are you still talking about marriage? Why you say the same thing? You said this verse over and over and over again. You know why? Because we can't let it go. We got to pressure this thing. Peer pressure can come from those that you love. I pressure you. Yeah, I'm going to talk. Man, he always talking about his wife. I sure am. Every time I see him, he opened up a door for his wife. I sure am. And if your wife see it and she says, why don't you open up a door for me? That's great peer pressure. Sorry. Not sorry. Because you need to do that too. Apply that pressure. Exactly. Apply it and keep on applying it. You need to do that too. There's people that call me up and who I listen to. Hey, Kofi, when you were saying this, maybe you could have said it in a different way or whatever. You pressure me too to help me to become greater and to be more open-minded. And I believe myself to be pretty open-minded and pretty nice and pretty this and that or whatever. But guess what? There's limits to where I got to respect the Most High, what he wants more than what somebody else is saying. But I can hear you out. Put pressure on me. Hold me to a standard. I thought that we were going to do this and this and this. Yeah, sure. Now listen for the response, hopefully. But yeah. Yeah, apply pressure. That's accountability. You can't hold me accountable, then you can't be my friend. If I can't hold you accountable, I can't be yours. You can't hold me accountable, I can't be, dang sure can't be your husband. I was built for pressure. You know how they say built for tough? I was built yacht tough. He built me. Anyways, I've gone way over what I even thought I would go over tonight. I knew I was going to go long. However, I thank y'all. I appreciate you. Because you fail. No. You don't fail your children. The system failed you. And assemblies have failed you. But we're here with family. And now it's time to take those steps. You're not a failure. You haven't failed your children. Right? You didn't know. You can only teach what you know. You can only live by what you know. Don't speak over yourself like that. You haven't failed your children. Those daughters of yours are outstanding. Right? You haven't failed them. You haven't failed them. Okay? You say I know you listen to me. And you say you listen to me. Listen to me on that. You haven't failed them. Don't go to sleep tonight with that being in your head. Speak positive thoughts. Say you loved them. Say you gave them the best that you could. Say that even when you were sick, you still took care of them. Even when the doctors were messing with you, still take care of them. Even when you know that righteousness is not around them, you've raised them to be righteous, right? Love them. You love them. Tell yourself that. Tell yourself that. Run tell that. All right. Appreciate y'all. Much love, much respect to you guys. I will not be on tomorrow in the rising or the evening. Minister Shantae will actually be on again this Wednesday. Minister Joseph has a little bit of stuff going on, so please pray for him and his family. Minister Shantae will be filling in as a replacement for him, so we'll see her at 8 a.m. Eastern. So no TikTok tomorrow, just YouTube in the rising. And then for those who would like to look at something in the evening, please check out our very own Minister Tamara. Her name on TikTok is Tamara_Ya and the number 9, Tamara Ya 9. That's TAMARA_YAH, the number 9. Minister Shantae will be on YouTube in the rising. Minister Tamara will be on in the evening on TikTok. The rising will be 8 a.m. Eastern. The evening will be 8 p.m. Eastern New York time. And then I will see you guys on Thursday. So thank you all. I appreciate you. I honor you. I respect you. I respect who you are. I respect what you bring. And I'm going to push you in those areas because I love you too much to see you kind of give up. I know a lot of you haven't, but we're not even going to let it become a thing that you even contemplate. How about that? So I thank you. I appreciate y'all. Take care of each other. And I look forward to talking to you guys on Thursday. So thank you again. Pray for us. Our goal is to try and be out of here sometime this week. Might not happen tomorrow. I've been trying to make sure that our vehicle is 100%. I believe in before we go and do cross country stuff and try to visit people and do all this stuff. I'm trying to make sure everything with the vehicle is straight. So I think I'm pretty much there, but we might not have everything together by tomorrow. But we look forward to seeing some of you guys soon, talking to some of you guys. We know that people are starting to look at getting together meetups and stuff for Passover. So we're excited about that. We've gotten orders in, or people, whether they've given a donation or not, we at least have pretty much everybody who said that they're interested in the Passover package. So we'll probably check in with you guys in a little bit to make sure that we have everything together for what you need. But thank you all again. We appreciate you. We honor you. Take care. And as always, check out my wife, or please study this word and meditate on it to see if it's of the Most High, so you can be doers and hearers simultaneously. Excuse me, doers and hearers simultaneously. Please check out my wife, the Honorable Maya, on TikTok, YouTube, her website, and Pinterest at Bloom and Flourish, not A&D, the letter N, Bloom and Flourish. She is a healer, herbalist, chemist, and biologist by degree. And as always, it's been Pastor Kofi, Pastor Servant of Christ, where we are always changing lives one mind at a time by being a voice of the voiceless and speaking the unspoken. Don't forget your affirmations. Romans 8:1. You are no longer in the condemnation because you follow after the Spirit and not after the flesh. Romans 8:11. The same Spirit that rose Yahshua from the dead dwells within you and will quicken your mortal body. Romans chapter 8, verse 18. The suffering of this present time is not worthy to be compared to the glory which shall be revealed. Romans chapter 8, verse 19. Therefore, the creature is waiting on you to manifest as the children of the Most High. Therefore, Romans chapter 8, verse 28. All things working together for the Most High and his constitutional righteousness for those, and it's therefore working for you because you are loving him, acting on how he wants you to act, and you are called, invited according to his purpose. And therefore, a bonus for you, Romans 8:37, you are more than a conqueror. Thank you as always. Remember, Yashta, Shabbat Shalom, as far as our calendar, Shabbat Shalom. And also remember that you are loved, you are necessary, you are majestic, you're fearfully and wonderfully made, and you, which is all of us working together, will be the reason why people who are in this system no longer have to be of it. Shalom, family. I'll write you down, Sister Monica. We'll talk later about it. All right. Amen. Peace.